G'day, and welcome to RishCraft, and if you haven't been living under a rock, I'm sure you've seen this. Well, yeah, so if you're new here, my name is Rish, I'm RishCraft, and I make all things great and small, and I'm gonna make that SKAR King. Well, I mean, I had greater ambitions of making King Kong as well, but you know how these things go, I didn't really get around to it because of a time frame. I figured, you know what, I can't make that. Not because I wasn't bothered, but anyway, for the first time ever, I planned, so there's a bit of a sketch, and hopefully that's a recurring theme going forward, if I plan to do that anyway. And here's an armature. I put up a short on how I made that exact body anyway, so if you want to go watch that after the video. It's pretty simple, you get some wire and make a body-like shape. Then getting this orange and red clay, and we can make this orange clay. Well anyway, now that we've mixed orange with yellow to make more orange, it was red in the first place, I'm not even sure what I'm saying. But we can get on to the bulking up of our monkey. So this is SKAR King. He is the new villain from the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. I'm super stoked, super excited for the movie, and I thought that this would be a cool little creation to make. Before you click off the video, because a lot of you guys do at this point, please stay, because I would like to invite you guys to stay on this channel, because I have a monster of a resin pour, pun intended, coming up, and I know everyone loves resin, so stay tuned for that. Might be a little bit Godzilla themed, but this is Gyat themed for all my Gen Z out there, or for the adults it means this is the buttocks. So now we can bulk up the sides of the legs, obviously going with some clay and my silicone shaper to get the musculature and really define the whole body, which doesn't really matter anyway because we're going to cover it in fur, but who cares, it's there and it's there for the video. So now we can build up his pectorals. So he's been hitting gym, but he's also quite lean versus Kong. Kong is a very bulky guy versus SKAR King, who's a much more lean character, and giving him a six-pack, which again I don't think Kong has, or he's got one of those bulky ones where it's like covered in the fat. So anyway, we can smooth out all the muscles with this silicone shaper. That's a common theme here. I don't know if you've seen the Spinosaurus video. If not, click the link up above. And yeah, just adding some clay on with some little worms, some little greeblies, and we just smooth it out with the silicone shaper. It's basically how I like to sculpt. I got this new one, which you'll see a lot more of because my old one broke. But anyway, we can build up the arms, add on the biceps. Again, he's very lean, so it's not very defined. He's kind of skinny. But we can build up the elbows just with some more worms placed in some strategic places. Then carving out where his elbow is and adding a line on his forearm later on. And that's both our arms finished. And I think what follows the arms is the fur process. So shout out to Phoenix. I talked to him and he suggested that I go over with some isopropyl alcohol before adding the texture, and I found some brilliant results. So I went and covered the whole thing in isopropyl alcohol, which removes all the fingerprints, smooths the whole texture and the whole appearance of the clay, and then I went ahead with this sculpting tool and sort of made some elongated strikes.
10 hours later.
And then after that, like I said, we can coat it in some more isopropyl alcohol, and I baked it all segment by segment using my heat gun, just so I didn't squish the previous texture. And now we're onto the head. So just adding in some spots for the eyes, and we'll put the little eye sockets with the white clay on the inside, cover it with a big monobrow after dropping the singular eyebrow, and we can smooth everything in just like we did with the musculature earlier. Then we'll cut out a shape for the mouth just after we add the eye wrinkles just here. And then we add in the nose and some teeth, and you know the rest. It's a pretty almost human-like face. So as far as the faces go, I think this one was one of my best. I'm really pleased, especially after the paint job. So it wasn't necessarily human, it's more ape-like, but still pretty proud of myself. And if you're not, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear how I messed up his nose and his cheekbones are off and everything about that. So we can coat the sides with some red clay, same as the body, so we can add the fur later. And realizing he has a bit of an old man's widow's peak, we can fix that up, attach it back on, and realize that it's still a little bit messed up. So then we can go with the silicone shape and add in all the extra furry parts and make the teeth to jam into his gums.
I am a surgeon.
But you do. Brother, what's that?
So after discovering my natural talent for surgery and then realizing that I could never make it in the medical service, we can fix up all the lines and give him some dodgy Botox and add all the fur on his neck and head. And then that's our sculpture almost finished. We still have to add the hands and the legs. Hands and feet, sorry. He's already got the legs on. So this goes through a very similar process for each one, where you cut out 4 slits for the fingertips. You have your index, your middle, your ring, and your pinky. And then you can smooth them out and blend them, make them really smooth round, and then attach them onto the wrist, followed by a very munted looking shape, and attaching the thumb on after you try and fix up your disfigured hand and pass it off as semi-decent and something that could pass off as a hand. So we can do the same for the feet, adding some toenails, and we'll do the same for his hands as well. Then we can make his whip. So the whip is what I believe to be made of a spine of some creature. I've heard that it's a Godzilla spine, I've heard that it's an ape spine, many things. But yeah, this took a little while, made of CosClay, so it's super flexible, so it does snap, but you don't see that. But you will see it if you're on my Patreon, so self-plug there. Hopefully you guys can just go over, I mean, you don't even have to pay, just join as free members. I'd love to start building a platform there as well, so that we can get onto painting after we made his whip. So painting it with this orange, and then his face with a darker red sort of face paint I think he has. And then give the whip some yellow wash, and regretting the whip went through a lot of paint jobs, that was not right. Then coating his chest in this light brown and discovering that it's too light, dabbing it away, and then realizing that gave me the perfect look because of the chest texture, which was done using a toothbrush. And then we can paint his white streaks and the blue eyes, and that's the painting finished with the spike of Shimo, who no spoilers, but I might be making him. If you were paying attention earlier, then you'll know what he'll be in. And also if you head over to the Patreon there, again, plug, I know, but you get a lot of exclusive access to everything, ideas, you get a say in my videos, and for the first week, every single level is free. So there's the $1, I think it's $2 or $3, and then the $6 one, all going to be 7-day free trial. Only for the next 30 days will that be running, so head over now and get an early start. So making the base, we just get a foam sheet and hammer it with a rock, and then paint it in some black Mod Podge, and we can coat it in some brown paint. It's totally the right color of brown paint. I would never not record correction of the brown paint, like it was obviously just mixed with the black there, so if you have a problem with that, yeah, just don't bring it up. Then we can go ahead and dry brush it. I love dry brushing on the rocky texture, so going from some darker shades of brown to an almost white, and coating the whole thing in some red ink to bring back the warmth. and doing it far too much, so we have to fix that up with some more dry brushing. And yeah, that's the base finished, and so is our project, so we can stick SKAR King in, and we're on to the reveal shots. So this is the part of the video where I would announce my new Patreons, but saying there are literally 0. I can't, so make sure to head over to that, make sure to do all the good stuff, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.